Hi friends, David here from Learn Stage Lighting, and today we're talking all about choosing a lighting console or software for DJ and EDM lighting at kind of all sizes and scales, how to find something, and our recommendations that kind of meet your needs. Let's dive in. Okay, so at the top of this playlist, we have a previous video, and we'll link to it here as well, that's all about what you really need to think through when you're choosing a lighting console, and a brief overview of our top console picks and how they kind of apply to that. You definitely want to watch that either before this or after this to get the full context. But in this video, we're going to go over the specifics as it pertains to DJ or EDM type lighting and how to choose a console specifically for that. So when it comes to DJ or EDM lighting, there are going to be a couple situations you find yourself in. Kind of at the lower level, the simpler level, you might be a mobile DJ who just has some lighting. Maybe you kept it in sound active mode for a long time and you want to improve on that, right? You want to do better. You want to have something that's more coordinated with your show. But at the same time is of the essence, right? There's not tons of time to program, but you might have the same lighting rig pretty much for every event. So you can invest at least some time in programming. Okay, moving up from there, you might be running lights for DJ slash EDM acts where you've got their focus on the act, or you're the performer and you're spending time programming to make a coordinated show that goes with what you're doing, but you want it to happen automatically. And then at the top level, you're doing a very, a more professional show, a larger type show, which I mean, still could be like a 300 capacity room, just where you've got more lighting. You may have a dedicated operator, and you want to be able to follow everything to a T as it happens, maybe having some external triggering, but also running things on the fly, etc. When it comes down to it, kind of the first low level console that we recommend for a lot of things is the WMX1 from ADJ, also known as the Wolfmix W1. In the Mark II version, which we're looking at here, they made some big enhancements. So this controller, like as a whole, is designed foremost and marketed towards DJs. And there's a couple reasons why it works so well. So the simple of it is that you basically have the ability to have this home screen with some different effects on it. You can then build different effects on these different tabs and different static color stuff as well. You then basically build the look that you want. So you just kind of move lights around like you might see behind me. And you might, bring in a color effect, do some different things. And, you're liking how it looks. We're seeing it on the rig behind us. We just fired in a color effect. Now we can start to store those two presets on the preset page where I'm literally just hitting shift, click, give it a name, enter, setting presets. Then having the ability to fire those presets either from our console themselves, use the faders on our MIDI controller to bring them up and down, and then also having the ability to actually fire things over MIDI. So you can see I'm firing different presets here over MIDI. So if you're doing small scale stuff, don't underestimate the WMX1. Also, key for DJ type lighting is any of the effects that you're building, they can be fired by either a typical, like a standard time, but you can also toggle that speed to BPM or to the microphone input. Any of these effects, and I do recommend this, can be programmed to either. Now, if you're not using an external MIDI controller, you can actually feed BPM from over MIDI using the standardized MIDI BPM that many DJ controllers have. Or you can just have it listen to the microphone, and more often than not, it's going to get the BPM pretty accurately and pick up on it pretty quickly. Or you can tap the BPM on the tap button at the top right corner of the controller. So the beauty of that is that no matter what speed you programmed effects at, etc., it will always match your music as long as you're either tapping, listening on the microphone, or using BPM coming from a DJ controller or similar. Other cool things it has is down the right side here, we have a make everything flash button, we have a make everything strobe button, We have a turn everything to blinding white button. We have a speed button, which modifies your speed, in this case 2x, but I could change it to 4x. I could change it to half speed or freeze, a blackout, and then a smoke machine button. So these things were really made for, DJs, people that just need to basically sit on a preset page and then be able to fire all these different presets, maybe using a different MIDI controller, maybe not, having the ability, which is cool, to be in a preset, but then actually go ahead and stray from that and just adjust what the preset's doing. So I literally just change the colors that are live, okay, on this effect. And then I can go back to presets and I can just fire another preset and be back into whatever I recorded. So it's like it can do a lot. It doesn't require a PC. It can stay to the beat, and you can kind of override things on the fly as desired and really add a lot of energy to a room. Now, when you want to step up from there, we typically recommend going to some piece of software. So let's hop over to the computer, look at two pieces of software that we recommend, and give you some of the pros and cons there that you want to know for DJ and EDM lighting. All right, so in our general console overview video, we talk about MyDMX 5, which is DJ here in the US. We talk about LightKey, and we talk about Onyx. MyDMX 5 and LightKey are very evenly matched, but for DJ lighting, I would say MyDMX 5 definitely has some pluses, so we're not even going to cover LightKey in this video. It runs on PCs and Macs. And just to give you a little introduction for some DJ lighting stuff, it essentially is made by the same people as the WMX. So it's kind of like the WMX on steroids, where you can build out all sorts of different looks for your lighting for just some of your fixtures, or looks that have all of your fixtures in them. And you can play them back live and on the fly. You can have things on timelines, even with audio, I believe, which is super cool. And it still has the ability to bring in audio input, so microphone. It can bring in BPM, and it can do that off of MIDI BPM. It can bring in MIDI controllers as well, and you can have controllers and BPM, etc., and set up your cues and effects to basically work off of that. That's what's super cool about something like MyDMX is, we really used to not recommend it. Previous versions of it were not good, but MyDMX 5 is really good. It's really easy to get going with it, to learn how to use it, to update different cues and play with them as you go and add new things. It generally works really well. Where it starts to hit ceilings is if you are having a live operator and you often use other lighting rigs as part of your system, or you often just want to update, your rig for different venues, update moving light positions, etc. When you start to hit that point and you're doing a lot of that type of programming, then you probably do want to look at a professional grade console. Our professional grade software of choice is Onyx. The biggest things it does in terms of DJ lighting is, well, number one is I can do pixel mapping across all of my lights, which is super cool. I can bring in video content. I can even bring it in live from other software if you have a VJ type person, and then play it on the lights. Really cool stuff. But also the ability to update presets, basically, which you build your cues off of. That means that when you walk into a new venue, and for example, you want to adjust your lead singer or your down center special, where all your moving heads point there, you adjust it once, and every cue that you had built off of that in all of your playback pages, they just all automatically update. The other thing, as I mentioned, is cloning. This is where you walk into a venue, you've got your lighting rig, you also have a venue's lighting or a festival rig, and you want to basically copy programming from your fixtures to their stuff and have it just work with minimal updating. That's where cloning plus presets can really save you a lot of time. That's why when you get to a bigger level or you do a lot of updating and things like that, you really, really want to have something that has those abilities to it. So Onyx has the capability basically of, lots of different hardware and PC options. So price points are everywhere from under $1,000 to many thousands of dollars, depending on if you're looking to, have a lot of controls at your hands or just a few. right? That's the biggest difference. There are also licensing differences into how much output you get as well. The biggest thing I would say is Onyx can take time code from time code sources for syncing with tracks and things like that. It takes a bit to program, but it's not bad. And so that's something it can do as well. It can take MIDI triggers, but it's not quite as easy to set them up as it is in something like MyDMX. So definitely be aware of that. But overall, hopefully this video's really helped you just look at some of the different options that are out there and help you understand what might be a better fit. Thankfully, any of the software-based consoles or software/hardware like Onyx or MyDMX, you can download and play with a demo version. Follow our tutorials both here and in Learn Stage Lighting Labs and start to get a grasp of what would work. Then if you need help choosing what to get and getting it, we've got it all over at Learn Stage Lighting Gear. We like to keep it in stock, actually above AVL, sorry. Learn Stage Lighting Gear is now above AVL. We love to keep it in stock, love to help people kind of understand what's gonna work best for your needs and help you find the best fit possible and get that into your hands. If that sounds good, join us over there. And if you're brand new to lighting, you don't want to miss out, we have a free guide that's going to help you. It's the three or four things I wish I knew before I began with lighting. It's this. There is a specific version in there to DJ lighting. You'll definitely want to check out to understand some of the basics of DMX lighting and how to use it as a DJ. If that sounds good, head over there and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks.